Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows. This is a follow-up video to the video I did the other day about taco soup. So we had made that here at a friend's house as a recipe to be able to buy some stuff at the store if you don't have a whole lot of time to be in someone else's kitchen, but you'd like to bless them. We were staying with friends and they've fed us lots of meals, so we are also trying to provide some meals back, but I don't have my normal pantry and my normal setup to be able to do that. So if you saw the recipe from the other day, you'll see that we used a lot of canned packaged items while we made that. But I will tell you some other ways that you can use this soup, because I use the taco soup a lot to be able to use up leftovers that I have in my fridge. So what I would do first if I were home is I would take onion and dice it up. I would take garlic, either minced garlic I usually keep in the fridge, or you could take cloves of garlic and chop those up, and I would fry them up in a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. At this point you could also use a little bit of grated carrot or finely cut carrot. I find that it doesn't add a whole lot of extra flavor to the soup, but it does add more nutrition to it. So I would fry those up in a little bit of oil, and then I would add either beef broth, chicken broth, I've done ham broth before, I've done vegetable broth, tomato juice, if you happen to have that. You could use just water. There's any kind of liquid you want to use. So, like I said, I'm just going to tell you all the different things you can use so that you can use this as a use it up meal. You can use any type of meat. I have used chicken. I've used beef, both like if you had like a pot roast or something like that, you can shred the beef, or ground beef. And you could use pork also, and those are all cooked before I would add them to the soup pot. You can put them either in a soup pot, or you can saute those things like I was saying, throw them in a crock pot, and then add the rest of these ingredients. You can use diced tomatoes. These are the vegetables you can use in it. Anything you want, actually, but I'm going to give you some suggestions. Diced tomatoes with chilies, like we used the other day. Green chilies, separately. You could even put in some jalapeno if you like hot stuff. You can use peppers. You can use onions. You can use corn. Anything really that would taste good on a taco. And if it's small parts and pieces, even if it doesn't taste good on a taco, you can add it to soup. So I have thrown into this soup celery, because I've had, 2 stalks left over in the fridge that need to be used. That type of thing. So yes, you can use diced tomatoes, or crushed tomatoes, or tomato sauce. I've added some leftover tomato sauce when I've had, a cup worth left in the fridge. For seasoning, you can use cumin. You can use taco seasoning, either a taco seasoning pack or taco seasoning like homemade, just a couple tablespoons of that. You can use leftover jars of salsa that you might have in your fridge. Leftover, what was I going to say? Oh, not leftover. You can use leftover or regular made, like at that time, rice. Whether brown rice or white rice. We usually would put that in the bowl and then serve the soup on top of it. That makes the meal stretch further. You can put in any kind of dried bean that you might have. I've made this with black beans. I've made it with kidney beans. I've made it with pinto beans. And you could probably use other kinds of beans too. Those are the ones that I've used before. Really, anything you have left over in the fridge. It's yummy to top with anything that you would put on a taco. So you can use sour cream, you can use cheese, you can use, I don't know, what else do you put on? Avocado, hot sauce, tortilla chips, any of that can be eaten with this taco soup. So this is just a really good recipe to use lots of leftovers from your fridge. If you do not add much liquid, so not a soup consistency. When I was talking before about the soup, the beef broth and the chicken broth and those types of things, if you leave that out so you have it thicker, we call that taco chili at our house, and we serve that with chips or just in a bowl on top of rice. Again, putting taco toppings on top, and that's just a bunch of leftovers from the fridge. So after I would saute those vegetables. I'd add the meat, beans, vegetables, broth, whatever you're going to do, and I would put it in a crock pot on high for 2 hours at least to make sure that everything's hot inside, or you could turn it on and leave it on low all day. All of the ingredients that I've just mentioned, I would put in cooked because that's how I have made this soup in the past. You can also put it in a soup pot and get it hot, and then leave it on to simmer until you're ready to actually eat your dinner. So that is how I make my taco soup, and that's how I use it for leftovers. There are a lot of meals that I make that are never the same from one meal to the next because I don't use a recipe that says use 1 cup of cooked beans. This recipe, we have used as little as 1 cup of cooked beans because that's what I had in my fridge, up to mostly beans and possibly even no meat. So you can do it any which way you want. I will try as we make more videos to show you the variations that I do in a recipe, because that's one of the best ways I have found to save money, is to just be able to be fluid about the meals that we make. So thank you for joining Herding Little Cows. We'll see you later.